Hi everybody, I'm Zilla Blitz and welcome. Today we're going to show some gameplay from Relic Wars, the upcoming tactical fantasy combat game from Flying Pig Games. We've got a 3-person game all set up. Let's jump right into the action. So here is Relic Wars pretty much all set up for a 3-player game. 2 quick background things before we start. First up, this game is coming to Kickstarter on May 5th. 2025. There'll be a link to that Kickstarter down in the description if you'd like to go check it out. The second thing is this is a prototype of the game. So there are going to be, while this has the spirit of the game and the general artwork will be the same and the design will be the same, there are going to be things that will be different. Like these player mats will be designed differently. The miniatures will be a higher quality and more durable. Some of the tokens are going to be higher quality tokens. So this has very much got a prototype feel to it. So kind of consider more gameplay and kind of artistic design rather than the quality of the components as you kind of think about, if this game might be something you would enjoy. So let's jump into gameplay. First up, what's the goal of the game and what are we trying to do? So we've got 3 players, 1 over here, 1 on the other side, and 2 down the side. And these players are going to be entering this map. Now each player represents a single character. This is Sykari Lionheart, this is the Veil Walker down here, and this is Santophrax over there. And these characters are unique, they have some unique abilities. They are going to enter this tiled area, which is currently unknown to them. As they enter this, they're going to explore through this. They're going to uncover various terrain that's in here. It could be monasteries, towns, woods, all kinds of things. And then, as they go through this, each one of these tiles is also going to have an item, and we'll talk about what that is. So they're going to be finding weapons and magic spells and chalices and portals, and using those things they find to wreak havoc on their opponents and win the game. There's 2 ways you can win. You can win by being the last character standing in the combat area, or you can win by getting 3 chalices, and we'll show how that works shortly, and holding on to those for 1 turn. This is a turn-based game. And I've done a couple of things before the video started. First up, in a 3-player or 2-player game, the combat area is 5 by 5 tiles. If we did have a 4th player, this would be 6 by 6. The second thing I did was I rolled this directional die to determine the starting sides of the board, with north being up the top for each of our characters. Now, if 2 characters roll the same direction, they both come in on the same side of the map, but I rolled Sykari Lionheart got west, the Veil Walker got south, and then Santophrax got east. So it actually worked out pretty well for the video too, because we've got 1 character coming in on each side and nobody rolled north. And with that, we have 2 things left to do before we are ready to start the game. One of the 2 things we have left to do is to prime this bag here. This is a felt bag that's going to hold these tokens. And what happens in terms of gameplay is, as a character moves into an unknown tile, they're going to flip that tile over and they're going to add one of these tokens onto the map. And just to show you what's going to be in the bag, we've got 3 swords, 3 bows, 3 each of the spells, so water, fire, and earth, 5 chalices. And these, again, if a character has 3 chalices in their possession, they will win the game if they can hold those for 1 turn. We're going to have 4 shields and then 4 portals in play. Now, in a 4-player game, there are extra ones. So the 3-player game has a reduced set of tokens. So I'm going to take everything except one of these chalices, and I'm going to put all of these items into this bag. All right, so our bag is primed with items. Now this last chalice, there's a special action here. We're going to flip over the very central tile here in the board, which is a hill, and you may re-roll and attack that. That's a special feature of that hill, and the chalice goes right on the center of the hill. So this is an incentive for characters to come to the center here, kind of like the cornucopia in Hunger Games. Get to the center, get the chalice, and you've got one of the 3 chalices that you need. And with that, we are now completely set to begin the game. And now the battle may begin. The rules mention the youngest person goes first. For our sake, we're just going to pick Sykari Lionheart to go first, and then we'll go in clockwise order around from there. So in each turn, you can perform basically, usually, 2 actions. You can move, you can attack, you could pick up an item, you could drop an item, and you're going to be picking from any kind of combination of those. And you can move twice and attack twice as well, too, so you can repeat the same action. And in the first turn, your first action has to be a move, because you're starting off map, you have to move onto the map. And whenever you move onto an unrevealed tile, the movement cost is 2 points to reveal the tile and move into it. So that's going to be the first action for each of the three characters. They have to get on the board here. So we're going to start with Saikari Lionheart. Let's take a look at his card and some of his unique features. Let's figure out a strategy for him, and let's get him in the board. So here is Saikari Lionheart's player mat, if you would. We've got a picture of him here, and we can see he's kind of a paladin, and he's kind of, basically a knight type of character here. His hit points are 7, and in the final version, these are going to be inset with little things you drop inside them. This is just a random hit marker that we're using to hold it. I've got it pointed to the right, meaning that's got 7 hit points left. Very slow. His movement is only 4, as one would expect for kind of a big lumbering knight. His basic attack is a strike of a range of 1, and attacks are not diagonal. They're only orthogonal in this game. And then, for the most part, there is an exception. We'll talk about that. Special ability is retaliation. When he gets attacked at range 1, his special ability allows him to retaliate and attack back. So he's not a character you want to stand toe-to-toe with if you're his opponent and try to go at it, because he's going to attack you once in his turn. If you try to attack back in your turn, you're going to get attacked back. It's a losing proposition. You're going to get beat up. So it's a strong defensive kind of ability there for Saikari Lionheart. In that turn, he gets to retaliate on anybody that attacks him. Down here are his slots for weapons and slots for shields. We'll talk about how those work. Now, Saikari Lionheart doesn't have good speed, but there is this chalice in the middle of the board here. So I think it makes sense to bring him in on the left side. We're going to reveal this character, this tile here, and then have him, at least for the moment, go straight to the middle, because we can probably beat people toe-to-toe if we need to. So let's see if we can get this middle chalice with him. So he's going to spend 2 of his 4 movement points, and you get 4 movement points for an action, but you can interweave other actions within this. So we're going to spend 2 movement points to flip over this first tile. Oh, bummer, it's a lake. So that's not good for Saikari Lionheart, because that cuts his direct line to the chalice here. You can't move onto a lake. There is one character, Lacrimosa, who I'm not using for this game, who flies. She would not have any problem going over the lake. Everybody else has a problem going on the lake. There are ways we can freeze this, but that's not the case at the moment here. So we do, however, need to pick a token to see what's going to be on here. This is a portal, which allows you for 1 movement point to move to any other portal on the map. Doesn't help anybody at the moment. So Saikari Lionheart spent 2 movement points so far. That's it. The question is, what do we want to do now with him? He's got a character down here to the south, right? The Veil Walker is going to come down to the south, and that Veil Walker can steal items. So I think it makes sense to stay away from the Veil Walker. So we're going to go 1 tile up to the north. So we're going to flip this tile over here onto the north. This is a hill, and he's going to move into it now, and he gets to drop an item on here, and this again is still his first action. Oh, this is perfect. It is a sword. So he has a second action what he could do. Really the only thing he could do now. We could move again to kind of think of it, but let's not do that. We're going to pick up the sword and we're going to drop it on his inventory. So Saikari Lionheart gets a sword. We're going to drop it on the weapon slot. And we'll talk about how combat works when we get there, but this is going to allow him to roll an extra die in combat, and it do extra damage. So it's a pretty good offensive start for Saikari Lionheart. There is one thing left to do. At the end of the turn, you pick a Devine Intervention card. This is a card that kind of shakes up the landscape and can do all kinds of crazy things. Let's see what we get. So this is the Devine Intervention deck. We're going to flip over the first card and follow what it says. Plague. Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good at all. So Plague is all characters currently in a city take 1 hit point of damage. The only character on the map right now is Saikari Lionheart, and he's on a hill, so this has no effect for anybody. Let's go now to Santophrax's turn and take a look at her mat special ability and get her in the game. Here is Santophrax, a very unique character. Movement is 6, so 2 extra movement points per turn as opposed to Saikari Lionheart. And hit points are actually a very robust 8. It's kind of a really cool looking character here too. Basic attack is kind of roll 2 attack dice and choose the higher result. So we're going to be rolling 2 of these instead of 1, and you pick the one that does the most damage. So a potent attack, and the special ability is Santophrax can attack adjacent diagonal tiles, which means that she can attack in places where other characters can't. So this is good. So for example, she could attack diagonally on Saikari Lionheart, and he can't attack back because orthogonally it would be a range of 2. Talk about that when we get there. Disadvantage: Santophrax cannot hold weapons or shields, which is a big disadvantage. So any of those things that she finds as she's making her way through combat are not going to be any help to her at all. So advantages and disadvantages for Santophrax, but that diagonal attack and the ability to roll 2 attack dice per attack is a little bit of a potent advantage. Let's think about what we want to do with her. So we've got Psychari Lionheart way over there in the west. She's coming in from the east. I think the same strategy, because if things work out well, we could get Santophrax all the way to the center here and grab that middle chalice before anybody else can do anything about it. Let's see what the terrain involves here. She's going to spend 2 of her 6 movement points on her first movement action to flip this over. This is a clear terrain hex here. Let's drop an item on it. What do we get? We get a portal. Aha, so she could, well, can't go to the lake because she can't go into the lake. So that's 2 points of movement actions. Let's spend 2 more movement points and we will go here to the woods. Aha, woods provide a defensive die bonus. We can see down here, you get to roll an extra defensive die. We also have an item to drop down in here. Let's see what we get here. We get a water spell. Okay, so she could use her second action and pick up this water spell, but let's not screw around here with Santophrax. Let's go for the quick victory. She's gonna go right to the center of the map and use her second action to pick up one of the 3 chalices she needs, and that goes on her inventory here. So Santophrax, 1/3 of the way towards victory. Haha. The last thing we need to do for Santophrax's turn now is to turn over a Devine Intervention card. Aha! The very omnipotent Revivify card. This card allows you to stave off death. Basically, when you get knocked down to 0 hit points, you can play this card. There's a few ways you can play it, but it's probably, I think its most potent way to play it is to play it as brings you back with 1 hit point. So we're going to take this and we're going to play it, put it off to the side of Santophrax's card up here, and for the moment, she's going to hold that. Now, we might use it for one of the other uses, but for right now, it's kind of an insurance card, keeps you in the game if you get knocked out. You can only hold one of those cards. You can't stockpile them, so if she finds the next one, she has to use it one of the alternate uses there. That's Santophrax's turn. Off to a good start. A Revivify card, got one of the 3 chalices, has made it to the center of the board. Let's go now to our Veilwalker. Veilwalker, as we can see here, is very much kind of the cut purse, if you would. Got the thieving kind of look to this artwork here. Hit points are 6. Movement is 5. Basic attack is the range of 1. It's a regular attack here. Special ability, however, is a pickpocket. So this is a special action that the Veilwalker can take, whereby she can take and steal any one item from an adjacent person's inventory. So I think if all goes well for Veilwalker, I have a plan for what we can do to start off her actions in the board. This is the plot for Veilwalker. She's going to come in here for 2 movement points, come in here for 4 movement points, use an action to pickpocket and steal the chalice from Santophrax. In your face, Santophrax. Let's get busy. So first, 2 movement points to come here. It is a woods. We have to drop an item in here as well. Oh, a chalice. So this is an interesting decision. Do we pick this one up or do we go steal the other one? Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, let's pick it up. We're gonna, so she's gonna use her second action is to pick up the chalice. I've dropped it on her player mat. Chalices are in action quickly here. So we've only revealed, I think, 5 tiles and we've got 2 of the, two of the 5 chalices that are in the bag are already there. Let's expose this next terrain tile up here. Ah, it's a lake. Okay, so that's good because she can't move up into this lake. It does cost 2 movement points to reveal it, even if you can't go there. So that's 4 movement points. She's only got 1 movement point left. That isn't enough to reveal any of these terrain features. So that means Veilwalker's turn is done. However, like Santophrax, Veilwalker has one of the 3 chalices. We do, however, have to flip over a Divine Intervention card. So our third Divine Intervention card, St. Michael's Sword. St. Michael's Sword is a special card that allows you to attack instantly any other character on the map, on the world. And it's an attack that ignores range, it ignores defense, shields, any other special features, and it's just a 1-die basic strike attack. So we're going to roll this die. The result can be anywhere from a 0 if you get none of these little hit marks on it, up to 3 hits. Like that, if you get the 3 on it. So let's roll this. And first of all, the Veilwalker has to decide who she's going to attack here. Let's, I think Psychari Lionheart can be getting shields and could be a problem. So I think knocking his hit points down early might be a good idea. So we're going to go after Saikari Lionheart with this attack. Let's roll and see what we get. Oh, a little bit tricky to see, but that's a 3-star attack. So let's put 3 hits of damage on Saikari Lionheart right away. Problems for Mr. Lionheart. 1, 2, 3. He's down to 4 health points already. This game moves quickly. Skirmish mode, it moves fast. Now there are ways that he can heal, and actually that's the end of the Veil Walker's turn, so we are going to go to Saikari Lionheart now, and it is his turn. As we go to turn 2, Mr. Lionheart here is in trouble, down to 4 hit points, and he doesn't really have any good defense. He's only got a sword. It's early. That was a very unlucky die roll for him, and if I'm Santophrax, I'm thinking who can attack diagonally. I'm thinking I can close in for the kill now and perhaps take him out of the game very, very early. So I think the good strategy for him is going to be to move north and try to create some distance and maybe find even a monastery, which is a location that helps you, allows you to heal before you draw your Divine Intervention card. It's a long shot, but I think he needs to play a little bit defensively and kind of gain strength before he can really come back into the battle here and try to take on these other 2 opponents. So we've seen how movement works now. I'm going to move him north, and we'll see what it looks like after I've done those actions. He moved north, uncovered a portal, and then moved east and found a fire spell. He's going to pick this up. Then the fire spell has a number of characteristics. One of the characteristics of this fire spell is that it allows you to ignore damage from one attack. So this could be a handy thing to have in his back pocket. We'll now draw the Divine Intervention card for Saikari, and that will end his turn. A heal card would be nice for him. Mountain Sacrifice. Mountain Sacrifice says all players currently located on hills drop an item of their choice on their tile. If they do not have anything, nothing happens. Interestingly enough, Santophrax is on a hill, so we're going to have her drop an item. The only thing that she has is the chalice, so we'll put this back onto the hill. This is just a momentary delay for her because she can pick it up at the beginning of her turn, which is next. Having said that, the benefit of dropping the item is that if she had the item in her hand, she could move and attack, but now because she's dropped the chalice, she has to reach down and pick it up, which is that one of the 2 actions, which means that she will not be able to attack this turn, but she will be able to move. And the question is, do we want to try to go close in on the kill on Saikari Lionheart or go someplace else? I think we do want to stay away from the Veil Walker too, who can pickpocket this chalice. So yeah, let's go up and around. She's got 6 movement points and maybe can find something interesting. As with before, I'm going to move her and then show the results of her action. Saikari moved up and then east 2 spots, uncovering some spells along the way, none of which she could pick up because she had already used that second action to pick up the chalice that she dropped. So we'll go now to her Divine Intervention card. Divine Intervention card for for Santophrax is Flames of Hell. Roll 1 for an attack on the current player's tile and all orthogonally adjacent tiles. Oh, so Santophrax is going to take an attack here. Let's see what happens. So this will just be a straight up 1d6 attack, and oh, it's another 3. There's a 1 in 6 chance it's a 3. So the Flames of Hell pour down on Santophrax, and she takes 3 hit points of damage. 7, 6, 5. One of the things I've noticed about playing this game is it can go in a lot of different directions. This is a very unusual game in that players are kind of randomly getting hit by things that have nothing to do with their interactions with each other. But it is what it is. We'll deal. Let's go now down to the Veil Walker's turn. The Veil Walker, with both other characters injured, it would be nice if the Veil Walker in particular could find something that could strike at range, like a bow or some other kind of weapon, maybe some shields, and build up some defense, and then come in for the kill and perhaps take out the other 2 weakened opponents. So we're going to have her explore to the southwest here. I'll do that, and then I'll show what it looks like. An interesting first move here, she uncovered a fort, and uncovering a fort is pick 2 and choose 1. So the Veil Walker actually has found a chalice and a water spell. This is an easy choice. We're going to put the water spell back into the bag, and as her second action, she's going to pick up the chalice, which actually puts her only 1 chalice away from victory. She's got 2 of the 3 she needs, and she still has 1 action left. Sorry, I mean 1 move left. And with this one, she comes to this last corner and uncovers an earth spell. Let's draw her Divine Intervention card. And the Veil Walker draws a Revivify card. Very nice to have indeed. We'll hold on to this one when she might need it and if under cases of dire circumstances. That ends round 2. We go back to Saikari Lionheart for round 3. Lionheart's in a little bit of trouble here, but I think we can come down here. I want to stay away from Santophrax, so I think is going to be more dangerous. maybe come down here and see if we can find something to help heal, or maybe get some kind of a shield or something. So he's going to move straight down and uncover and explore this way. This works perfect. In the first spot, he finds a shield, so he's going to pick that up and add that to his inventory. The shield goes into the shield slot. This will allow him to roll a defensive die when he gets attacked, which is he needs all the help he can get for defense. So that's a good pickup for him. Lastly, we're going to move him down into this other spot here and see what's in this. This is a forest and another shield. This is excellent. This is exactly what he was hoping for. Now, he doesn't have an extra action to pick this up, but he could start the next turn and pick this up. So getting some defensive power here, this is going to help a lot. And can combine with that fire spell that will allow him to negate damage on one attack. He's getting some durability as we continue into this game. Time for the Devine Intervention card. Lucky! All players draw a Relic Ward token from the container and add it to their inventory if possible. If not possible, the token is returned to the container. Okay, so we'll do this each player in turn. Lionheart draws another sword. Oh, this is excellent for him. So he'll add that to his strength there. This is a potent attack. It's a 1d8 now, which is a much more powerful attack die, in addition to the basic strike, and he's got a shield. It could be time to go on the warpath. Santophrax picks up a portal. Can't pick it up, so that will go back into the bag. Nothing for her. The Veilwalker already has 2 relics. If she were fortunate enough to draw the last relic in the bag, she would be in a position to win the game, and it is a bow, which is not a relic, but still, it gives her some range and gives her a powerful attack. Now, with this bow, she can attack at range 2 instead of just range 1, which is good. So I think Lionheart's got a double-powered, kind of an upgraded sword. He's going to get an upgraded shield. This could be problematic for everybody else. I think it's time to try to take him out before he can get going. So I think if Santophrax can do a couple of things here to kind of get off an attack. First up, she's going to pick up the fire spell for her first action, and that will allow us to actually get an attack in momentarily. But she's going to go up here, uncover this tile for whatever this is, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, and then attack diagonally with the fire spell. We'll talk about that happen. So I'm going to make this move, and then we'll check back in with her when she gets here. Interesting, as she went up here, it's a fort, so she can choose to pick one. One is a bow, and one is the chalice. The question is, I think she can be the fastest one here to the chalice back in. So she's just going to leave the chalice there and then still continue out the rest of the turn and come back for that perhaps on the next turn. Then move down here for 3, 4, 5, 6. She's moved all of her things. And then she has, let's take a look at her card. She's already done her 2 actions and fully committed her move, but the fire spell is an action you can perform at any time. So she's going to use that to use it as an attack, which is one of the things that you can do with the fire spell. And because she can attack diagonally, she can attack right onto Lionheart. So she expends that fire spell and she can attack diagonally. Now when she attacks, she's going to roll 2 attack dice and pick the highest one. And then we do have here a couple of things going on for Lionheart. He is in the forest, so he's going to roll the defensive terrain die, and if it comes up forest, which is right here, that's how many hits it blocks. Also, he has a shield. He has 1 level of shield, so he's going to roll the shield die, and depending on what this comes up, that's going to negate some damage too. So let's perform this attack. So 2 attack dice for Saikari to see what it does for initial damage. Oh, a 3 and a 2. These attack dice are rumbling here. So she's going to take the 3 hits here and put that on Lionheart. Lionheart now will roll all of these defensive dice and gets a 0 for the shield die and then a city, a fort thing for the other defensive die. So that blocks no damage whatsoever. However, Lionheart can do one thing right away, which is he has a fire spell as well that can be played at any time, and you can play it to negate damage even if you know what that damage is. So rather than take 3 hit points of damage, which would put him down to 1 hit point, he's going to play that fire spell to negate that attack. It does burn it up, but it keeps him at 4 hit points instead of 1 hit point. And with that, we end Santophrax's turn, and she's going to pick a Divine Intervention card. Divine Intervention is Pious. Pious is the active player must select 1 item in their inventory to drop in their tile as a sacrifice to the gods. Interestingly enough, the only item that Santophrax has is the chalice. So she's uncovered 2 chalices, and she drops this one on the hill here Chalice is all over the place. This is perhaps an opportunity for Veilwalker. We'll see as it goes to Veilwalker's turn now. I think Veilwalker is going to continue the theme of let's give everything we can to dump on Lionheart here and see if we can knock him out of the game because he's building up a lot of power. So, and she has a bow, which means she can attack at range 2 now instead of range 1. So let's go up here. We're going to uncover this terrain and then attack. Interestingly, she's found a second bow on top of this hill. By the way, the hill allows you to re-roll 1 attack roll. We could have re-rolled Saikari's attack roll, but she did roll the maximum of a 3, so it didn't make sense to re-roll anything there. However, we have a trick we can do. So as Veilwalker's second action, she's going to pick up the bow, which makes it stronger and increases its range, which will be pretty helpful for staying away from her opponents here. And now, actually, that's it. I thought she had an earth spell, but she left it behind there, so she does not have an earth spell. Yeah, she's going to buy a little time. She's going to move back down here and set herself up for a power action on the next turn because she'll have the range, I think, to hit Lionheart if there's no blocking terrain in the way here. So she can pick up this earth spell, which allows you to have an extra action, which could result in a pretty good double attack on Lionheart if he's still in the neighborhood here. So that's the end of Veilwalker's turn. Let's draw a Divine Intervention card. Divine Intervention for Veilwalker is Traveling Archaeologist. All Holy Grails on the map are removed and put back in the Relic Wars container. Santophrax now lamenting the dropping of this one and the not picking up of this one as her opportunity to grab both of those goes away. We drop those back into the bag. This creates a very strong opportunity for Veilwalker, who's already got 2 of the chalices, and there are a number of unexplored terrain squares over here. It almost makes me think her strategy is, instead of attacking Lionheart, to come over here and see if she can find the chalice real quick and then just win the game. So yeah, because in 4 spots she's probably bound to get 1 chalice out of that bag. So interesting change perhaps in strategy here. But we go now to Lionheart for turn 4. Lionheart's got a couple of options here. He could attack Santophrax, potentially take her out of the battle here. But the problem for winning right now literally is the Veilwalker. She's got 2 of the 3 chalices she needs. She has no damage. She has a Revivify card. So she's in the best place to win. And all she has to do is run to the east and grab another chalice, survive for 1 more turn, and she's going to win. So I think it makes sense for Lionheart and Santophrax to kind of say, let's make an alliance, try to team up and take Veilwalker out, at least prevent her from winning for a second. With that in mind, Lionheart's going to pick up this shield, which will give him 2 shields, come down here and explore this, and then probably go back up so that he can't get pickpocketed by the Veilwalker. Gah! That did not work out very well. So as Lionheart moves down here, here is a chalice. This is a 3rd chalice that the Veilwalker would need in order to win the game. So, and he can't pick it up because he's already picked up something. So he's got to stay there to sit on it and prevent Veilwalker from grabbing it. But this gets very, very interesting. He could move somewhere, but I don't want to move somewhere because then Veilwalker's going to come right in here, pick it up, and that'll do that. I mean, Santophrax could come down and grab it too, so the strategy gets really interesting. And I think Lionheart's just going to sit on this and end the turn. Divine Intervention card says heal. All players in fields heal 1 hit point. And good news for Lionheart, who's in a field. So his hit points go from 4 back up to 5. He's actually in pretty good shape. He's got 2 swords, 2 shields. He's got, well, not 2 swords, but a double strength sword, a double strength shield, and it's now back up to only down by 2 hit points. So yeah, things looking pretty good for Lionheart now. I think Santophrax up here needs to start to close the gap on Veilwalker because the Veilwalker is going to be create all kinds of problems here if she gets the 3rd chalice, and one of the potentially 3rd chalices up here. So now we go to Santophrax's turn. She has a kind of a cool thing we can do. So she's going to pick up the water spell, and the water spell has a number, so each spell has a number of actions that you can perform with it. It can be played at any point during your turn. One of the actions is to force a player to return an item of your choosing from their inventory to the container. So that's an easy choice. Santophrax will blast the water spell over on Veilwalker, hit the chalice, take that, and it goes back into the container, pushing the Veilwalker back down to just one chalice and keeping her at least a considerable distance away now from victory. Actually, now that there's not an imminent threat of Veilwalker winning, let's go explore this terrain to the north and see if we can find something good. So I'll do that and show what it looks like. So interestingly, Santophrax moves 2 up here, uncovered an earth spell and a shield and left the earth spell here. Moved 3 to here, uncovered a portal. With her 4th movement point, she can activate the portal and come over here, and then come down here and activate this tile for 5 and 6. It is a lake, and the lake has a chalice on it. Interestingly enough, so this lake would have to be frozen for someone to get it. The water spell allows you to freeze a lake, so she could conceivably on the next turn come here, grab the water spell, cast it, freeze the lake, come back, and then pick up the chalice in the turn after that. So interestingly, we have 2 chalices on the battlefield now, and the only one holding one is Veilwalker, who has 1, and we know there's probably going to be other chalices down here in this bottom right quadrant. So anyway, that's it for Santophrax. She will pick a Divine Intervention card. Drawing her card, it is a 2nd Revivify card for her. She can only hold 1, so she can do this other action here, which is to reveal any unrevealed tile adjacent to her. There is none. So I believe that means there is no action to be done with this Revivify card, and that's where it stays. So I think it is time for Veilwalker to go on the offensive here with her bow. What she can do is, we're going to move her 2 over here, leave the earth spell where it is, move 4 into the forest here. Now, diagonally, she has a line of sight here, and she has a range of, I think, 3 hexes with her bow. So plenty of range, and she can fire here at Lionheart. Lionheart has the special ability, which is Retaliation, but it is range 1, and because range is orthogonal, this is range 2, so he can't retaliate. So she's going to fire the bow at Lionheart here, who doesn't have any options of protecting himself other than his shield. Really, he's got a terrain, but he can't attack back on this attack. So the attack for Veilwalker is a basic attack plus the D8 for the double powered bow that she has. So we'll roll this first to see what kind of damage she does. It is a sword and then 2 hits. So 2 hits go onto Lionheart. However, he can mitigate the damage with his shield. There's no terrain benefit to being in this clear terrain, but he does get the double shield now. So he gets his D8 die for the shield. It is a shield plus a dropped weapon, which is, this actually becomes very interesting because the shield stops 1 hit. So first, Lionheart takes 1 hit, and then we'll resolve the dropped item element. So Veilwalker does 2 hits, 1 of which gets through, reducing Lionheart's healing his strength to 4. The dropped weapon, however, means that Veilwalker could either drop the weapon, which would be both bows, or drop the chalice here, which you could then pick up on the next turn. Everybody's dropping chalices. I don't want to lose the bows. I feel like that would be bad. So she's actually going to drop the chalice and leave that there. So the chalice is going down on the back into the forest here, which leaves chalices all over the place. There's a victory's worth of chalices on the ground right now. She does succeed, however, in taking Lionheart down to 4 hit points. So with that, let's draw out the Divine Intervention card for Veilwalker. Divine Intervention card is Revivify. She already had one, which means she can reveal a terrain tile next to her and put an item on it. Let's do that because she does have one. So she can reveal this adjacent space here, which is clear terrain, and we'll add an item to it here. Could be a chalice. That could actually be very interesting for her. It is not. It's a water spell. Okay, so we go now to turn 5. I think it's time for Lionheart to go kick some butt. So he's going to move down here into the fort, not even worry about the chalice. We're just going to go for the kill on Veilwalker here and attack. His attack is a basic black attack die, and he's got 2 swords. He's got a double strength sword, so he'll use this D8 on the swords, attacking with both those. For a defensive die roll, Veilwalker's in the forest, so she'll roll the defensive terrain die, but she has no shields or any items like that. So here we go to the attack. Let's see what happens for Lionheart. He gets 1 hit and then 2 more hits, 3 hits on Veilwalker. That's strong. Let's see if the defensive being in the forest helps at all. It does. It's a double forest roll, so that's going to reduce 2 of the 3 hits that come through. So Veilwalker takes her first hit. She has drawn blood. 6 to 5 hit points. Let's draw a Divine Intervention card for Lionheart. Torrential Downpour means that until it comes back to Lionheart's turn, characters can only do one action. So that's an interesting situation for both Veilwalker and Santophrax. So we'll leave that into state. This stays beside the board until it expires and comes back to Lionheart's turn. So it goes to Santophrax's turn now. Santophrax is going to move here, and expose this tile, then come back here. Can get positioned to pick up the water, to freeze the lake, to come get the chalice, I think, in the next turn. So we'll take care of that and we'll show what it looks like. She came down here. It is a shield, which would be very helpful for Veilwalker or Lionheart, but comes back up here and gets a position to pick up the water spell, freeze the lake, come down and get the chalice. So that's, let's draw a Divine Intervention card for Santophrax. Portal Vortex. For the remainder of the game, monasteries and watchtowers may be used as portal. Leave this card next to the map. Okay, so there is one such element on the map already. So this watchtower now is a portal as well. So characters can portal to there if they would like to. So I think a good move for Veilwalker actually is going to be use her pickpocket ability. And I think we're getting this right because we'll take a look at Lionheart here. She can pickpocket any item that Lionheart has. My understanding is that because this represents an upgraded shield, when she pickpockets this item, she gets both of these things because it's not two shields, it's kind of an upgraded, stronger shield. So she gets that and can drop that down on her card, giving her a kind of a much better situation for taking out Lionheart in the future. And now we go to her Divine Intervention card. Heal. All players in forests heal 2 hit points. Santophrax in a forest heals 2 hit points. Goes from 5 to 7. Veilwalker in a forest goes to 5 to max health of 6. And that ends the Torrential Downpour, where Santophrax and Veilwalker can only do one action. We remove the Torrential Downpour from the game and we go back to Lionheart's turn, where he'll have 2 actions. Boy, the loss of shields here really hurts Lionheart, but I think he's going to go all attack. He's got that double-powered sword. Let's see how it works. And he's got 2 actions. So we're going to have him attack twice on Veilwalker and see what kind of damage we can do. So first up, what kind of attack is this? This is a D8 attack because he's got that plus a basic attack die roll. However, Veilwalker has the double strength shield and a terrain die for being in the forest here. Okay, let's roll up this attack. Lionheart takes a swing with his powerful sword and gets 2 hits. He's got a sword icon and 1 hit, so that's 2 hits on Veilwalker. Veilwalker's defensive roll, 2 shields, and it forces a drop of a weapon. That's a powerful one. So she blocks all of the damage, and Lionheart has to drop his sword, which means that the sword goes down on the ground here, and that changes everything perhaps for the second attack here, because he doesn't have a weapon. So and I think when you pick it up, you can only pick up one of these at a time, even though it's considered kind of a double. You can only pick up 1 token at a time. He's going to actually do that. He's going to pick up this token. He better get his weapon back instead of conducting a second attack, and that finishes Lionheart's turn here. Complete fail of an attack. And we need to draw a Divine Intervention card. Divine Intervention card for Lionheart is Earthquake. Oh, this is interesting. So this is all unoccupied orthogonally revealed adjacent tiles to the current player are shuffled with the extra map tiles and placed back on the map in their unrevealed side. Interestingly enough, that means the items on them go back into the bag. So there goes the chalice again. It's going to be hard to get the chalice out. This might mean it might be a battle to the death here. So we're going to take these 2 tiles. I'm going to mix them up with the unrevealed tiles, with the tiles that are still left over and weren't used in this game. And then we're going to put down 2 new unrevealed tiles on the map here. 2 new tiles back down on the map. Another chalice vanishes. Boy, from going close to victory, both sides now are slipping away from victory here. Let's go to Santophrax's turn. All right, Santophrax is going to be real simple here. She's going to pick up the water spell for 1 action, then move over here for her second action, cast the water spell to freeze, because you can cast it anytime during your turn, cast it to freeze the lake, and then move down here to the frozen lake where she can grab this chalice and hopefully, for her anyway, get 1/3 of the way towards victory, although she's the only one holding a chalice now. Everybody else has dropped theirs. And let's pick up a Divine Intervention card for Santophrax. Heal. All players in this tile heal 1 hit point. Santophrax goes from 7 back up to 8 hit points. She's back to full strength. All right, let's go to Veilwalker. Veilwalker's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. She's got Santophrax kind of bearing down on her from the northeast here, and she can't get around Lionheart. She can't go north because of the lake here. She doesn't have any spells. She does have a shield and her bow, though, which makes me think it might be time just to attack. If she moved here and tried to attack from range, though, it would be blocked by the forest. So she'd have to attack and face Lionheart's retaliation. But she could attack twice, and she does have a double strength bow and has a double shield, and Lionheart has just his wimpy sword now. So let's do it. Let's see if we can knock Lionheart out, because he doesn't have a revivified card. We're going to have Veilwalker fire at Lionheart. It's a basic attack plus the D8 die for the double bow. Lionheart gets the red defensive die for the terrain and has no shield, so no other defense here. Let's roll for this attack. Oh, that's 2 for the bow and 2 for the attack points. 4 hit points worth of damage. That Lionheart only has 4 hit points. This is a big roll for Lionheart. He gets 2 in a city, which is where he is. Oh, that roll saved his life. So 4 hits done, 2 hits get through. Lionheart goes from 4 down to 2, bleeding profusely, on the verge of getting knocked out. Lionheart, however, has his retaliation ability. He can use that. For his attack, he gets the D6 for the attack roll, the basic attack. Veilwalker gets the forest die, the defensive die, because she's in the forest, and she stole the shield die from Lionheart, so she gets the D8 shield. Let's roll for the attack. Ooh, sword and 2 hits, actually 3 hits on Veilwalker. That's a powerful hit, but let's see what kind of defense we get. Defense, we get the town, which does nothing because she's in the forest, and she gets a shield and some symbol I do not know. The prototype rulebook had a different symbol, but I figured it out. This means the defender can ask the attacker to re-roll one of their dice. So let's have them re-roll the 2 hit here, hopefully get something maybe less. 2 hits, same thing, so it doesn't matter. So that means that 1 hit is blocked, 3 hits, 2 hits get through. Veilwalker loses 2 hit points. 6 down to 4. Second action though, because Lionheart's down to 2 hit points, I think it makes sense for Veilwalker to try to just finish him off and take him out of the battle. So she's going to attack again. The 1 die plus the D8 attack die, and Lionheart only has the terrain die. So let's get 1 more attack for Veilwalker. She needs 2 hits potentially to finish this off. Oh, it's a sword. Okay, so 2 swords don't matter because she's got a bow. She does get 2 hits, and the defensive die must turn up for Lionheart or he falls to the ground. He gets a forest. He's in the city. The forest die doesn't do any good. 2 hits get through Lionheart, and he goes to 0 hit points. However, there is a rule. When this happens, you draw a card, and if you draw the Revivify card, you stay in the game with 1 hit point. So Lionheart's only hope is to draw the Revivify card. He picks Guardian Angel. It doesn't work. So that is the end of Lionheart, who falls to the ground, knocked out of the battle. Lionheart is removed from the game, his items fall to the ground, and he is gone, leaving a Santophrax and a wounded Veilwalker to fight for the final elements of the 3 chalices here. Now there's only these 2 chalice markers out on the board. Might be a battle to the death. The problem here is that Veilwalker has a rather long-range bow, but it is not her turn. It is Santophrax's turn right now. Before we do that, we do have to pick the Divine Intervention card for Veilwalker. Oh, St. Michael's Sword. So she can attack. It ignores all kinds of defense. She will attack Santophrax with this. It's a good card for her. Let's pull this up and see what happens. Ah, she gets a 0. No damage whatsoever. So that doesn't help at all. Let's go to Santophrax's turn now. Santophrax has a big edge in HP. She's got 8 and Veilwalker's only got 4. I think going for the chalices isn't going to work very well for Santophrax because Veilwalker could just come up to her and steal them. So, and there aren't many spaces left to kind of pick up chalices. So I think it's going to be a fight to a death. So we're going to have Santophrax ignore the chalice there, move up onto the hill, which allows her to reroll one of her attack dice. She can attack at an angle here on Veilwalker, and she rolls 2 dice and picks the higher one as her basic attack, but she also can re-roll one of these if she doesn't like them. So let's get that, and nothing that Veilwalker can do, but Veilwalker does get the defensive die for the shield and for the terrain here. The attack each does 1. She'll re-roll one of these and see what it does. Still gets a 1, so she gets only 1 hit. My guess is that the defense here for Veilwalker is going to handle that without a problem. She gets 1 shield here. Yes, 1 shield in the town. The shield stops it, so nothing gets through. A very interesting spot here now for them. Let's go to Veilwalker's turn. She's gonna go for it. She's gonna just fight it out. She can basically attack twice with her bow. Oh, we got to draw the Devine Intervention card for Santophrax first. Metal Blight. Oh, wow, this is such a bad card for Veilwalker. All currently equipped weapons and shields are removed from the game and placed back in the Relic Wars token container for all players. New ones may be acquired when revealed. So only equipped ones are dropped, but that was the bow for her and the shields. Wow, what a horrific card here. So all the bows, her double grade bow and her double grade shield go back into the container, and she can't even attack now unless she gets next to Santophrax. Oh, that's like a total fail for Veilwalker. Let's rethink her turn then. Yeah, let's have Veilwalker pick up the chalice here and get on the move. So she's going to try to get 3 chalices maybe and come over here with 2 and then sit in this city for a moment while she waits to figure out what's going to happen. I think she can pick, yeah, actually let's go one more. Let's expose this one here and see if this one here in the corner and go into that one. Let's see what she finds here. I suppose we could have picked up the weapon. That might have been smarter, but she could get lucky here and get the chalice. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in this bag now though. Oh, she gets her bow back if she can pick that up. Okay, that's a good one. So she can at least get the single strength bow back on the next turn. Okay, Santophrax is up. First, over the Devine Intervention card for Veilwalker. Wheel of Life. Oh. Wheel of Life means that all of the Revivify cards that are in the deck get shuffled back into the remainder of the Devine Intervention deck. So there's going to be a lot of them in here. So that is taken care of. Let's go to Santophrax's turn. Given that Santophrax has 8 hit points left and Veilwalker has 4 and no weapons or shields, I think it's time for Santophrax to go on the offensive. So she's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, be in the town here, and then use her attack right on Veilwalker here. Santophrax's attack is the 2 dice, which she can roll, and Veilwalker gets just the terrain die because she no longer has a shield. So let's roll up this attack here. Ooh, she gets to pick which one of the higher. She'll take the 2, of course. And then the defensive die for Veilwalker is 2 cities. She's in a forest, no good. So 2 hits get through. Veilwalker drops down to 2 HP, which is problematic here, and we draw a Devine Intervention card. Heal. All players in fields heal 1 hit point. Neither player is in a field. So now we go to Veilwalker's turn. Veilwalker's turn is looking pretty grim. She's down to 2 hit points. She does have a Revivify card. Doesn't have much of an attack. And Santophrax is in a town, so she'd get some defense here. But she could die on the next turn. It's looking a little bit grim here, and she's kind of trapped in the corner. Well, let's pick up the bow to get a weapon here. That'll help with a little bit with the attack strength here. And, gosh, she's got to run maybe. Yeah, let's go 2 up here, and then we're going to come into this one. Oh, Perfect. This is the monastery. This is exactly what we're looking for that wasn't in the game yet. +2. You heal +2 before your Divine Intervention pull. So we'll put an item on this one as well, which is a chalice, a second chalice, interestingly. And that ends her turn. But before we pull the Divine Intervention card, she heals back up to 4 strength. So, but we're going to pull a Divine Intervention card too. Santophrax is going to get 2 attacks. It's still kind of powerful here. Divine Intervention card says, heal. Player in this tile is healed 2 hit HP. It goes on. Veilwalker goes from 4 HP all the way up to max HP, 6 HP. So a very fortuitous turn for Veilwalker, who runs into the monastery, gets healed there, and then gets a double heal by picking up another one of the monastery, the Divine Intervention cards. Let's go now to Santophrax's turn. Ideally, Santophrax really needs to push Veilwalker off of this tile. A water spell does have that one of its features that you can cast it to push a character in one direction. So, because I think if Veilwalker just sits here, she's going to be unbeatable, right? There's going to be not anything we can do really to get her off that tile, and it could be problematic. Santophrax can't pick up the sword, so it doesn't do any good. So let's have Santophrax run here, 2, 3, pick up the water spell, and then hold it, because what she wants to do is cast it, push Veilwalker off, and then move on to the monastery, and that will probably win her the game. There's no other water spells out on the tile here. But that begets the question of what does Veilwalker want to do? Oh, we have to draw a Divine Intervention card for Santophrax first. Oh, St. Michael's Sword. An undefensible attack. Let's see what happens here. 3 hit points. Oh, that's huge. Kind of. But not really that big of a deal. So she goes down 6 down to 3. But as we go to Veilwalker's turn, she can literally just sit here on this monastery. She'll pick up the chalice, which gets her a second chalice here. And that gives her 2 chalice, 1 more attack. The line of sight from the center to the center, I believe, is blocked by the edge of this forest here. So I don't think she can shoot with her bow. The range actually is only 2 on the bow easily, so that doesn't help her either. That's a range of 3 orthogonally. So the question is, what does she want to do? Does she want to move? She's going to sit there and then heal back up. She goes up to 5. Divine Intervention card time. Revivify. It could reveal a tile, but there isn't one there, so nothing happens with that because she's already got one. Santophrax's turn. Santophrax is going to go 2, 3, 4. Cast the water spell to push her any one direction. Let's push her. We can't push her where we are. We can't push her in the lake because that's water. Push her in the forest gives her good defense. May reroll an attack roll, but still, whatever. Let's push her this way actually, because we don't want her to run over to get the other chalice. And then with the last movement points, the last 1 movement point, she's going to move into here, which puts her on the monastery and gives her the healing power of the monastery. And that is a move. Actually, the water spell isn't extra movement, isn't an extra action, because those are free actions. So she's moved, she can attack then. So she's going to attack Veilwalker with her 2 dice here, and picks to pick the highest one, gets 2 2s. So she'll put 2 hits on Veilwalker. Veilwalker's predicament suddenly not looking so good. Veilwalker drops down to 3 HP. It goes to her. Oh, we have to draw a Divine Intervention card for Santophrax. Divine Intervention card is Portal Instability. Any players on a portal are transported to another portal if available, but there is no one is on a portal right now, so that does not impact anything. So Veilwalker's holding 2 chalices. The 3rd chalice is over here. She potentially could get there, but the only way to get there is to go around to the south, which is going to give Santophrax 1 more attack. If she survives it, she could run over and get the chalice and still win, because that lake is frozen. So that's our play. We're going to go 2, 3, 4. We have to stop there because she has a movement of 5. She doesn't have enough to get... Oh, but second movement. She's not going to attack. She can do her second movement here. 2, 3, 4, 5 to expose this one right here, which is a shield. And she's in. Next turn, she can grab the chalice and perhaps win We have to draw a Divine Intervention card first. St. Michael's Sword. That's pretty good. So she gets to roll an attack on Santophrax. Does no damage. So that's a wimpy St. Michael's Sword. Now we go to Santophrax's turn. What happens if a character gets the chalice? So on the next turn, Veilwalker's going to get the chalice. And she can pick it up and just run. This just has to survive one turn to get the win that way. Santophrax has got to move. So she's got to try to do something to stop this from happening, which means coming down basically and attacking. Now, I think we want to come around this way so we can force Veilwalker into the slower terrain here maybe. She can jump through portals and stuff too. Yeah, I think we want to keep her away from the portals. So let's go, oh, actually we can do this, which is we're going to make a double move too. So we can go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Second move, 1, 2, and just sit right here on Frozen Lake, denying Veilwalker the chalice. Haha! Okay, Divine Intervention card. Revivify. There are no unexposed tiles, so this doesn't do anything, and each character already has one. So Veilwalker has an interesting situation because she's down to 3 HP, but she could potentially run back over to the monastery, sit in the monastery and heal back up, meanwhile picking up the shields and the weapons here. And there's not much Santophrax could do to stop that once she gets into the monastery. But Santophrax can't win by picking up chalices, and she stays there. So you could create kind of a little bit of a stalemate here with this one. But I think for the sake of seeing what happens here, she can actually get off 2 attacks on Santophrax, which would be pretty powerful. Let's have them go toe-to-toe to see who wins here. We're going to have Veilwalker unleash an attack, which is 1 basic attack die plus her bow there, which is going to get some kind of damage. And then Santophrax is on a no defensible terrain here. So here comes the attack. It is a sword and 1 hit, so it does 1 hit. So Santophrax, 8 down to 7. Second attack? Yeah, let's do the second attack and see what happens here. We should be able to get some pretty good damage here. 2 hits and a sword. The sword doesn't do anything, but the 2 hits do. Down to 5. Santophrax, however, now has the advantage here. But we have to draw a Divine Intervention card here first. So let's draw a Divine Intervention card for Veilwalker. Holy Smite. Player in this tile is struck with lightning. Roll an attack roll die against yourself using 1 attack die. Oh, that's bad. So, oh no, it's the 3 hits. So, Holy Smite hits the Veilwalker for 3, reducing her to 0. However, she has the Revivify card, which she can play to come back to life with 1 hit point, but that's the end of her turn. It's Santophrax's turn. She's going to go on the attack here. There's no defensive die for this. She just gets to roll 2 dice and to pick the highest attack. This should finish off Veilwalker. First attack does 1 damage, and Veilwalker falls unless she draws a Revivify card with the Divine Intervention. Petty gods. It is not. Veilwalker falls, and the victory goes to Santophrax, our winner. That brings us to the end of this replay. This is my 4th game now. This one went on for the longest. In many ways, this game reminds me a little bit of kind of like a baseball game, right? Where some games are really fast and they're low scoring and someone gets the chalices and wins with 3 chalices. Other ones are just slugfests that swing back and forth, and you see comebacks and revivals and all kinds of things to keep a player back in the game, have them come back to strength. This one was like that. This was by far the longest one I played. Now, at the end there, thinking through this, it probably made the most sense for Veilwalker to grab the shield, run over here, try to grab these 2 swords, heal up, and then come back and probably try to take out Santophrax that way. That was probably the better move. And the Holy Smite was unfortunate for Veilwalker there. That Divine Intervention kind of really twisted the tail there. I think Santophrax, however, would have been able to chase her down perhaps and get her before she got back to the monastery, maybe finishing her off that way. It's a little bit tricky to say. It created an interesting situation where there was no more tiles. You couldn't get the 3rd chalice. I mean, the win here is if Veilwalker gets the chalice, But the kind of instant back to life here is if you get back over to the monastery, and you can kind of be almost immortal here because you can hold up, you get 2 hit points. I suppose you could grind a character down, but that's a big advantage if you're sitting on that monastery, pulling at that +2 healing there. So it created kind of an interesting, almost a little bit of a stalemate as it came to the end here. And that's the first time that something like that has happened. The first game I played was fast, second game was more medium, third game went on probably a medium range. This one was the longest one. I wasn't expecting things to go quite this way. But it does have, I think, a good... what's the right way to put it? There, at times you feel like you're almost dead, but the game has a lot of ways to kind of bring you back into power. You can see a character, even like Lionheart, got hammered down in the beginning, but then came back pretty strong, and then lost weapons. Veilwalker had some unfortunate actions there. The Metal Blight there that wiped out her weapons. I mean, she was on the verge of victory there. That would have done it. And still, I think even there at the end, had we perhaps made that move over here to try to get back to the monastery, that could have brought her back in a little bit stronger position. It probably wasn't the wisest strategy to try to go toe-to-toe with Santophrax at that situation, down in hit points there. Or at least pick up the shield and then go for it. That might have been the right way to go. But the Holy Smite really kind of finished things off there. In any case, curious to hear your thoughts and actions. This could give you an idea of gameplay if you're interested in picking this one up. It's available on Kickstarter starting on May 6th. Victory to Santophrax.